Well, hello, Scott here, and welcome back to the channel. Something a bit different for you today. A couple of months ago, one of my viewers asked if I could do just a walk around Harrogate, and with that in mind, a couple of months ago, and it is a couple of months ago, it's taken me a while to get it done, and also then to edit it, as you can see by the fact that this is summer. Some beautiful weather out there, and it's certainly not now. But anyway, it's taken me a while, but I thought one day Elizabeth and I went out for a little walk, and I took the GoPro with me. And GoPro always works really well in good light, as you can see. Some really good images there. So I'll have a little walk around and see what we can find. Have a look at what we all know is a beautiful town. I'm not expecting this to be a world record breaker in terms of views or length of view, but let's just have a little look at what we can see. I'll narrate mostly, but sometimes I'll shut up, which no doubt will be the best bits. And let's have a little look at what we can see. So this is crossing the A61. There's the A61 West Park, and so I think that's the West Park United Reformed Church. And I think we're going to look to the left in a moment, towards Hotel du Vin and the rest of town. Betty's in the distance, can't quite see it. Stray behind us now, obviously. Lovely spring summer flowers are out, something that Harrogate does very well. And we're going to have a look at the law courts, or there's the law courts there on the right hand side. I think it's called the Harrogate Justice Centre or something like that. I think Magistrates Court. I think maybe the Crown Courts. Whole manner of things there. And anyway, that's the church. And you can pause that if you want to see it. It's about someone called George Dawson, who was no doubt a member of the Harrogate Great and Good. And we'll see a few brown plaques as we go around. Elizabeth there in the distance, as you can see. So what do we know about Harrogate? Well, it's a town of 75,000 people. That's the latest estimate, which I think was in 2018. And it's what's that? What would be the same size as Harrogate then? Put in the comments what you think. What would be the same size as Harrogate? Thinking about local towns, that must be about 3 times the size of Ripon, twice the size of Ripon, maybe 3 times the size of Thirsk. There's the library. It was closed. I think it was a Sunday, actually. I think that's why it's closed. In fact, I'm sure. Is that the library? Yes, it is. Obviously, that's Library Gardens. There. There's a structure on Library Gardens. I read in the local paper that I think they fenced it off because there were quite a few people sleeping rough in there. And in the distance there. Well, is that one of the electric buses, I think, that goes around Harrogate? And then walking through Library Gardens. That new cinema there ahead, slightly to the left. Everyman. Been in there once, it was very nice. You can have a meal, have a burger while you're watching a film, which sounds very civilised to me. There's that structure on the right hand side that I was talking about. Library to the left, public toilets to the left. And what a rather nice place to spend some time watching the world go round. Everyman Theatre there, that used to be... again, put in the comments what you remember about that. I think, was it a Beale's department store? Just as I moved into Harrogate in 2012, I think that was the last couple of years, or the last throes of Beale's as a business. And I seem to remember it being demolished. There's been a number of restaurants underneath the Everyman. And to be honest, an awful lot of them have had very, very low level of success. I think the ones over the other side, there's a Stablo, I think, South American meat restaurant, which is still there, and I think there's a Yo Sushi, which is still there. But I think most other things, and was there an Italian, Ask Italian, I think, was there, but that's now gone. I think there's a gym now. But a whole number of small bars and wine bars and restaurants there that just haven't lasted. I'm guessing because it's quite a new building, rents must be quite high. Is that possibly why they've not survived?
Yes. You see it as
and some rather nice shops there. The thing I do like about Harrogate is that sort of ironwork covering the pavement, so you can walk. And it's not all over town, but you certainly an awful lot of the shops you can walk in the dry. So I think a lot of what you can see on the left now won't exist anymore. Is there a chocolate shop there that maybe no longer exists? I seem to remember that's now gone. So this, as I said, was a couple of months ago, a good couple of months ago now, in fairness. There was like a wine bar there that again has gone. I think this is now the Everyman itself on the left. I'm looking the wrong way, in fairness. There's towards the station. And again, quite a bit of development obviously is planned here. They're going to spend an awful lot of money on station approach. And we're turning, we've gone a bit further now. So this is Zizi's Italian on the left hand side. The old market, which is now the shopping centre, straight ahead. And that statue, whatever that statue is, I don't know what that statue is. Again, do please help me in the comments. I'm guessing that the individuals who are watching this video, and certainly those that have got as far as this, and what are we, we're about 5 minutes in, are pretty knowledgeable people about Harrogate. So do help me along, please, with the comments and what you can see there. And just in the distance, you can see the the footbridge, I guess, from the station into the Victoria shopping centre. So that'll come directly out of TK Maxx and then across into the station. And a number of shops there that are close to the Victoria Centre. Used to be the market, as I said, I understand. Shame it's not, really. Wouldn't that be nice to have that as an old-fashioned food market? It would be very nice. But I suppose they're sort of disappearing from the world, aren't they? There is, on this channel, there's a film I did about Scarborough Market, and until very recently I didn't realise it was there. But if you go to sort of right at the top end of the town centre, there's a market at the top in Scarborough, and it was very nice. Food market largely, which always I think is very, very nice. Coming from Swansea as I am, Swansea Market's one of the best I've ever been to. I'm told Barnsley Market is excellent as well. So there are still some towns that have them. Going into Victoria Shopping Centre now. And going up to the first floor, I think. So there's like Thailand next. And yeah, the post office is now in WH Smith. The post office used to be down in town opposite that Tesco Extra there. Now inside of WH Smith's. Used it a few times, in fairness. It's quite convenient, to be honest. Probably a little bit more convenient location than that. And then upstairs too, this is TK Maxx now. I think it's a very nice top floor, natural light coming in. Very nice TK Maxx. Elizabeth is a regular customer in there, as you might expect. And yeah, lots of natural light. Back down now. And this is Cambridge Street now, so that's the other side. As I mentioned, the post office and WH Smith. A few closed shops here on Cambridge Street. M&S there on the right hand side. Used to work for Marks and Spencer's, and when I worked in Bristol, there was a lady who used to be the manager of Marks and Spencer's came down to work at the M&S near Bristol, so that was interesting. And walking along here, next there on the left, there used to be Thomas the Baker's there, but that's gone now. And on the right hand side, bizarrely enough, there's the Primark. Now the Primark, which before that I understand was BHS, and before that was the original Marks and Spencer's. And so things do change, don't they? So turning left here, sort of circumnavigating the Victoria Shopping Centre. It's quite quiet, as you can see. And yeah, not an awful lot going on. I'm walking the other way now. The fact is that, trying to work out what that is. Is that Primark coming out to Boots, is it, or Primark? Boots, I think. Clinton's Cards, I don't think that's there anymore. The inevitable phone shops, and then over there, there's now, well, there it is, Sainsbury's Local. That had only just opened, I think, when I took this. And then there is a bar called the Cozy Club, which is just a little bit further on. A couple of empty shops on Cambridge Street, which is unusual. Okay, top of Cambridge Street now, so Bradley's Jewellers, and we're walking towards the Yorkshire Hotel now. Beautiful day, wasn't it? Beautiful day. Quite long shadows. I think it's towards the end of the day, in fairness. Quite long shadows, as you can see. Betty's on the right. We'll see that in just a little while, but we're going to walk down towards, as I said, the Yorkshire Hotel, which is there ahead of us on the right. And then the street on the left, I think that's James Street, that heads back towards the station, I think, if I'm in the right place there. Yes, and the sort of Waterstones and Hotel Chocolat up there, I believe. So I like this little walk through here. I don't know, can't remember if I walked through it or not. But you've got the, there's my hand. I'm being very careful to cross the road, as you can see. So yeah, there's James Street up there. And then there's an ever-changing little sort of range of restaurants usually along here. So I think there's a Thai tapas place we're going to see on the left-hand side. I think that's called the Pickled Sprout, which is part of the Yorkshire Hotel there on the right-hand side. Some nice areas to sit outside there. And then lots of little nooks and crannies, small little coffee shops, I think ice cream shops, little bars and that sort of thing. Giggling Sprout, there we go, I was wrong. No, there's the Pickled Sprout. And then, what does that say? Giggling Squid, I'm sorry, Giggling Squid. And then there's a Banyan on the left. It used to be like a Mexican there. Used to be, it's not there anymore. That's Banyan. Lots of people outside enjoying a drink. And it's very nice. And looking back, that's where we've come from. Harrogate is a fantastic place, isn't it, for having somewhere to eat and somewhere to drink. The Alex there on the right hand side, the Alexandra, that's had a number of incarnations over the last few years, different concepts. I think it's a sort of pie, ale and pie shop at the minute. I quite liked it when it was like a pizza place. I used to quite like that. It's been a while since it's been that. So anyway, so this is now the Hotel du Vin on the right hand side. We're back onto the A61 now, so walking down West Park. West Park Stray there on the left hand side. Cenotaph there ahead of us on the right hand side. And here we go, Albert Street. That's where we've walked through, or walked along. And the Yorkshire Hotel is on the right hand side. Betty's ahead of us to the left. There's a little ice cream shop, that little structure there, that little green structure is an ice cream shop. And is that one way? I think that's one way, isn't it? West Park at this point. Turns into Parliament Street. There's the Yorkshire Hotel. I remember when the Tour de France was here a number of years ago, they'd set up some grandstands here, and I remember after the race I came down here with Elizabeth. We had a little drink in the Yorkshire, watched the world go by. West Park Stray was pretty much where the media centre was, and I think that's where all the garages for the bicycles were as well. Harrogate was pretty much a centre of activity for the hotel, for the Tour de France. There's the Boule, what do you call them, Boule courts, Boule pitches, but they are there anyway. I've got to be honest, I don't think I've ever seen, you'll probably see them now, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually play Boule there. Don't know if that was part of the Tour de France, or whether it was whether they've all been there. Let me know in the comments if you know. And then walking down to, I think this is the beginnings of what they call the Montpellier District of Harrogate. So going down the hill, down Parliament Street, there's Betty's now ahead of us. Blues Bar is ahead there, one of my favourite bars in Harrogate. And look at that. Lovely spring, early summer view there. And here's Betty's. I haven't been to Betty's for years, actually. I'll have to take Liz there, maybe in the run-up to Christmas. So it's called the Montpellier Cafe Bar. And this is the Montpellier District. And again, my ignorance more than anything else, I don't know why it's called the Montpellier District. Whether it's something to do with the architecture or I don't know. Again, I've said it before, let me know in the comments if you know why it is the Montpellier District. I'm sure we've got some real Harrogate buffs still watching. We're 15 minutes into this video now. And that goes down the hill, down towards, I guess, the bottom of Coldbath Road. And I think I'm going to do a video in a couple of months' time on a walk up Coldbath Road. There's a funny coffee making contraption. Don't know if you can quite see it in the light. And then back up the hill. This is the entrance to Betty's. This is where you usually see the Americans queuing to get in. No Americans today. And there we go. It was actually very close to the time of the coronation. In fact, it might have been Coronation Weekend. I really can't remember when I took this, but I think it might be. You'll see in the Betty's window now, really decorated in a style fit for a king. And only Betty's really can do window arrangements like that. What a wonderful English scene that is. Look at those macarons there. Lovely cakes, fat rascals. What a place. What a place to live, Harrogate really is. Tea and scones and cake. Wonderful. Wonderful. A few people milling around. Looking down Parliament Street. Is it the Ivy that's next door? I think we're going to go past that Mountain Warehouse, and then there's the Ivy, which is next door pretty much to Betty's. Aiming for the same customer, no doubt. Strange enough, if you go to York, Betty's is really close to the Ivy there as well. They must have drawn the conclusion if you put it next to Betty's, you're going to have the right kind of people seeing it. Crossing the road now, looking towards the cenotaph there. Now, I know there are some plans to make Parliament Street two-way traffic again, a rather unusual idea, and I think they're talking about sort of double-figure millions of pounds in order to do it. I'm not sure why you would bother to do it, if I'm honest, but that's the current plan that the District Council are looking at. I mean, I read in the paper the other day that they've got a deficit of about 25 million, so possibly not one that's going to happen anytime soon. Rather nice urban church we saw there. And I'm walking back up Cambridge Street, Primark there on the left. And then, I seem to have reappeared. Probably a bit of bad editing there, but there we go. Looking at Betty's again. I'm always really intrigued. I mean, Betty's it's about 5 stories. I can imagine that there's something on the second story, maybe on the third story, but I would imagine once you get up the top, there's not very much there. Wagamamas. 5 Guys. We've got it all here, haven't we? And then we're going to walk down. There's a Mojo in a little bit. I think there's an All Bar 1. And then there's obviously Wetherspoons towards the bottom as well. That's all Bar 1, I think. Allegedly, you've got terrace there that you can look out. I've never looked out. Debenhams. Really sad to see Debenhams closed down the right-hand side. Now, I understand that Debenhams, the Harrogate branch of Debenhams, was the second branch ever that opened. I'm guessing the first one was down in London somewhere, but the Harrogate branch was the second one. Still closed. I wonder what they're going to do with that building. I'm not sure what you can do with it. Maybe residential, maybe a hotel. Strange shape, I suppose. Department stores has got a limited number of other uses, I would imagine. And then we've passed that sort of empty restaurant there on the left-hand side. That's been a couple of things, and it's still to this day lays empty. I read some of that. Its rent was £100,000 per year. Again, you've got to take an awful lot of money to pay a rent of £100,000 a year. But it was did it start off as a Jamie's Italian, and then it was like a food courty type thing? I read it was going to be a steakhouse, but nothing's appeared yet. There's Wetherspoons there on the left hand side, and I think I've actually walked through Wetherspoons. I've not subjected you to that, but I've walked down through Wetherspoons, and here I am. That's the back of Wetherspoons. So there's a Travelodge there, and then we're going to walk. There's Elizabeth. We're going to walk through down some rather nice restaurants around here. There's a Drum and Monkey. I remember seeing the chef Angela Hartnett in there during the... I was walking past, she was in the window, during the Tour de France weekend. So the great and the good came, no doubt, that weekend. She's Welsh, she is, so there we go. Definitely the great and the good. So this, I believe, is called the Ginnel. And up there... Okay, we've crossed the Ginnel now. A few nice little restaurants through here. A few nice little shops through here as well, although a couple have closed lately. It was at the Pitcher and Piano, I think. No, I'm saying that's a good one, but the Pitcher and Piano has closed recently. I say recently, within the last couple of years. And Fisk, I heard good things about Fisk. Not been in. I did go into the building or the business that was there before Fisk, and that was quite nice. I don't remember what that was called. But yeah, typical Harrogate scene, really. Very floral. I did say at the start of this video I probably wouldn't keep on talking, but I seem to have talked throughout. There's a Montpellier. Yeah, that's... Is that where the Pitcher and Piano used to be? Very rare to see empty buildings in Harrogate. So there's the Slingsby Gin place around here, and then there's the Harrow's Toffee place, I think, to the right hand side. Back out on the Stray now. So the Stray, for those who don't know, the Stray is otherwise known, I think it's called 200 acres is the other name for it, and it has to be fixed at 200 acres. So if they ever take a bit out for like road widening or something, they have to make it up somewhere else, which is a bit of a strange rule. Until quite recently, the Stray was owned by the Queen. Well, it still is. It is still owned by the Duchy of Lancaster, but it's administered now by the, I'm going to say, the town council. It's not even the town council anymore. It's North Yorkshire Council, isn't it? Oh, yes. Now that was me complaining, but someone didn't stop at the crossing. You see my hands going wildly.
Didn't stop.
Elizabeth consoling me, as you can see. Replete with Primark carrier bag. So there we go. That's looking back at the Montpellier District, or Montpellier area, and we're walking back to where we parked the car now. And yeah, beautiful. What a beautiful place to live. And some of the houses and the flats that we're going to look at in just a minute. Again, not cheap, but what a beautiful, beautiful place to live that must be. I suppose living this sort of part of the sort of across from West Park Stray, you've got the best of both worlds. You've got quite a quiet area, I suppose, and quite a, clearly it's not rural, it's urban, but it feels very villagey, I would suggest, in this sort of area. But then just a stone's throw across the Stray, you've got Harrogate town centre with all its pubs and restaurants and shops, and yeah, it's a very beautiful place to be. And some quite nice, I'm not going to say flats, apartments, I would say. Stray Towers. What a... you can pause that if you want to have a read of that. How very stately Stray Towers sounds. It's well named. And as we walk now along the this little footpath, which is I guess nestled between the apartments and the houses and West Park Stray, looking back there, some place is worth a pretty penny there, I would imagine. Look at these lovely little houses, hidden in many ways. I mean, it's right there on the Stray, but there isn't a great throughput through here. I guess you have your own little bit of peace and quiet, a bit of tranquility. And the sun looks like it's coming down quite nicely, so I would imagine it's a very pleasant place to spend your downtime, living in this sort of area. If you've got a couple of quid to spare, I would suggest that's a very, very nice place to buy somewhere to live. And looking back there at the West Park Church. We're getting towards the end of this video now. I hope this has been of some interest to you. My walking videos around Harrogate, they do have sort of a limited audience, I accept that, but I have had some really nice feedback that people find them quite relaxing and quite de-stressing, just to have a little look around the town. And I accept this has been quite a long video, so if you've still made it to this point, then please do put it in the comments that you have lasted this long. I probably won't do many more videos of this length, but it is quite interesting just to spend a bit of time doing something a little bit longer form, or long form video, and having a look at this beautiful town that we live in. In particular, if you are watching this from overseas, please do put that in the comments as well. Got a number of people watching it from certainly America, South Africa, the Caribbean, Asia in some cases. People have watched my Harrogate videos and said that they have found them of some use. So I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, then please like and subscribe. And most of all, this is Scott saying thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please consider subscribing to this channel. Also, I'd be very grateful if you could like this video and hit that notification bell. If you do that, you'll continue to receive lots more rubbish just like this.